It's Brainwash with Dr. Tom and Guitar Picks with Will Little, Pink Floyd, Fearless.
This is another earlier Pink Floyd song. You know, a lot of people will cite Pink Floyd. You'll hear The Dark Side of the Moon or anything like that. And I'm not trying to say that I'm better than that, but I'm just trying to say that, you know, I think there's a lot of stuff out there by a lot of artists that often doesn't get as much recognition, and that's kind of why I've chosen many of the songs that I've chosen. I really like the chord structure of this one, the real open soundingness of the chords. I don't really think it's in an open tuning or anything like that, but it definitely sounds that way, the way the chords are played and put together. Real nice vocal on it, you know, your signature Roger Waters tone of vocals to it. And it's just got that, it's more of an acoustic sound. You know, it's not your real spacey, delay-drenched David Gilmour guitar solos or anything like that. It's real kind of bare bones. And one thing at the end of it that's kind of neat, there's like a old soccer chant coming through, and it just has a real interesting effect how it goes from the song to hearing like the roar of a crowd, which I think kind of gives you a little bit of their influence and where they grew up, where soccer is huge, and like the crowds and the chants that are involved in that is kind of in a sense like music, you know. In some foreign countries, they have huge drum circles at big sporting events like that, where everyone gets involved and things like that. And I don't know whether that was their intention in including that, but just showing that how people can come together to make music in one sense, you know, can be with instruments and song structure, but can also be in community events like that with chants and things like that.
It's Brainwash with Dr. Tom and Guitar Picks with Will Little. Moe, Rebubula.
Moe's one of those two guitar jam bands. It's a big influence. They got a lot of good interweaving things. This song is very, very structured. A lot of different parts. And it's very listenable. As chaotic as it may sound, and as much as it's going on, it really all flows together real nice. It's in D. I'm a big fan of the key of D, so obviously that helped. I really like the intro. And it just kind of keeps going, and then you got a lot of kind of other guitar lines going together on top of it, and it's just a real nice layer. Fun lyrics. The chorus has got a lot of energy to it too. It's just, you know, simple chords. I mean, but you know, with all the distortion and you know energy of a full band, it has a real nice effect to it. All the guitar lines that are in there, there's probably about 3 or 4 signature lines that they play, and the way they're harmonized together is real nice. And I guess I've kind of taken that influence a little bit, and we try to get a lot of those harmony lines going on in some of our guitar playing with the two guitar players, having, you know, complementary lines that aren't exactly stacked on top of each other, but you know, again, like a lot of the layers that I've been talking about, they kind of create a bigger sound.
It's Brainwash with Dr. Tom and Guitar Picks with Will Little. Peter Gabriel, Salisbury Hill.
Salisbury Hill. I like Peter Gabriel. From what I understand, he wrote this song the day he quit Genesis, and for anyone who hasn't heard Peter Gabriel Genesis, they should do themselves a favor and go check it out.
Yeah.
It's a neat little guitar line. I can't play it very well, but I can try.
Okay.
So there you go, and you pay attention to some of the lyrics. You can kind of see the transition that he's in. He talks about, he pretty much spells out talking about leaving the band and how some people might not have thought that was the right idea, but he's got other sounds in his head that are calling him home, and other things that he wants to do, and that he's happier now because of it. So, I've been through a lot of transitions between groups and just between musical styles, and hearing songs like that kind of have a lot of optimism at the point of a transition is a good influence for me too, because I think everyone needs a little bit more optimism in the time of change.
It's Brainwash with Dr. Tom and Guitar Picks with Will Little. STS9, Breathe In.
Sound Tribe, Sector 9.
Right.
They're big on the whole electronica, live electronica scene, and I'm a real big fan of them above all else. I also like other bands out there that are doing that now, like Lotus and Brothers Past and things like that. But I think of Sound Tribe first. One thing I really like about Sound Tribe is the simplicity that they play. They almost are like an anti-solo group. You really don't hear the guitar player ripping it up and playing a raging solo out in the front. Everyone's got their layer that they're sticking to, and they just play it with such enthusiasm. The simplest repeating phrase, they put it into every single beat, every single time. And I've always been a real big fan of people that can get their egos out of the way enough to play something simple and repeating like that. And play it with enough energy that it's, it does the style justice. I like this song especially because of the middle part. It kind of breaks from the first darker minor key type of sound and starts all over with a real nice major keyed piano lick, and it's got a kind of has that pedal tone on the top and a moving. Very poor example of it, but I really like that, and I'm going to cut it short so that we can have enough time to get to that section of the song.
Okay. Is it more likely that you would hear something currently popular that would influence you as opposed to like a fellow musician bringing you a tape from an artist 40, 50 years ago? What do you think is more likely to influence you? Either a new sound from a pop artist from nowadays or a fellow musician bringing you a tape of somebody from a long time ago?
Well, I think if you've got the ear for it and you can listen to it, well, older music is going to have pretty much the same ideas that newer music has. You listen to blues playing and slide playing and things like that. There's so many great players out there, but it can all go back to Chuck Berry. And just listening to old Chuck Berry albums can get you all the blues, at least a good intro to the style, and that's kind of where it started. And same thing with some of the newer bluegrass sounds and newgrass sounds. You can go all the way back to Bill Monroe, where the unheard of recordings that are just so old they don't know who's singing them and things like that. So I really like to listen to the older stuff because I feel like that's where it all started to begin with. And while you can hear something new and modern that's catchy, and I have before, I can't give you a specific example, but I've heard something that's new and I'm like, wow, I like that, that's new, I've never heard that before, and then a couple weeks later or a couple months later stumbled across something old, and just hearing that's where it was taken from. Even though you hear the modern equivalent first, if you dig deep enough you can find it in the beginning of music too.
Okay.